Hello, hello, and welcome back. I'm Claire. This is Purple Poppy, and today I'm doing the next part of this 52 challenge by Crafty Cat. The book, as you know, is done. We are... Oh, yes, let's hope we can get a full video today and it doesn't get cut off. Because you got cut off last week, didn't you, when I was making this with the Tim Holtz paper. And then I added just a bit of a sort of cluster there and made a journal card with these lovely ducks. Poke them in there like that, and then I put that on top. So sorry about the tooting. There you go. So that's how that finished. And then I did the what was it? Was it a tag? No, it wasn't a tag, was it? It was a label. It was a label. So I took this Joe Brown's clothing label, I put one of the Tim Holtz people on it and stamped it so it looked a little bit like a sort of ID card that you'd wear around your neck. I made a pocket with this Simply card from Tim Holtz, but I think you saw that because that covered the hole. I used more of that photographic paper, and this is just a piece of eco-dyed paper, and I've put that in there and pop that on top. So that was last week. Now this week we have got cracked and wallpaper, and I'm going to keep checking the camera like a lunatic to make sure you're still there. Excuse me. So we're going on this page first of all with cracked. Now I printed out some bits and pieces. I've got some odd bits here that I thought looked a bit like wallpaper, which we'll talk about in a minute. And I've got two china teacups. So the first thing I'm going to do is tear these china teacups out, and then we can fussy cut those in a minute. What I'm thinking is that I'll do a double cup, but I'll use it as like a bit of a belly band, and then this tag, which is just Amazon packaging that's been stenciled on, couldn't slide behind them. That's the plan. Let's see how we get on. So we've got a mucky board and a craft knife, and I'm going to first of all fussy cut this piece, and I'm really sorry because I know that fussy cutting can be a real bind to watch, but I do like to show you everything. As you know, there's something sticky on this mat. That's not a good start, is it? So we've got that first piece out. So how are you? How's your new fresh week going? It is Monday, so it's the first day of the week for me, even though when you're watching this it will be Tuesday. I always try to get Tuesday's video done on Monday, so I know it's done and out of the way. And of course Crafty Cat puts out the new prompts on a Monday, so it makes sense. I've seen the prompt early this morning. I've had a little chance to think about what I wanted to do. Excuse me. This dreaded cough is back. If you've been here for a little while, you'll be aware that I am constantly burdened with some kind of horrendous cough. Now I feel like I'm not fussy cutting this particularly well because I'm trying not to get my head under the camera. But a nice sharp knife does help. So these are just images that I had in my stash. I think originally they probably came from somewhere like Graphics Fairy. I'm not a member of, you know, a fully paid up member there anymore, so I can't really check. Talking of checking, I suppose I better check that camera, haven't I? Yep, you're still there. So that's something, I suppose. Right, we've done that, we've got the cup. And when I heard Amy say this morning that the first prompt number 10, was cracked, bone china immediately came to my mind, because if you've ever had bone china, it's so delicate, it's almost impossible to keep it in one piece. Well, that's been my experience anyway. So I was like, yep, definitely bone china with cracks in. Now, if this was a stitchery project, which obviously it's not, so there's our first one. And you see, I'm going to put, let's take that off because that was for something totally different. If we put this one here like this, and then this one sort of like that, we'll have to make it fit the page, and we just glue there and there, then we should be able to use that as like a belly band. That's the plan. Let's see how we go. Sorry, what, I've totally lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh yeah, if this was a stitchery project, I've done that wrong. If this was a stitchery project, what I'd be looking to do is do like kazinki, where a Japanese art where they embrace damage and they repair it with gold. So I could do like gold stitch lines to repair the cracks. But it's not a stitchery project, it is a paper project, and therefore we're going to have to think of something else. My initial thought is that I would use either a pencil, but then that would rub off in time, or maybe maybe I would actually tear the cracks, run ink down the lines, and then glue it all back together on the basis that you would see the crack lines, but it would still be one piece, because we do want it cracked rather than broken. Right, okay, so that's the difficult fussy bit. Doesn't take that long really, does it? There's that one. I do find it's much easier when you do, you know, slices like this rather than trying to do the whole thing. Perhaps if you've got a steadier hand than me, you may well find it easier doing it in one piece. Or if you've got one of those fancy swivel knives that, you know, goes around 180 degrees, you might find it's better to do it in one. but I'm just going with this. Okay, there you go. So there's all our pieces gone. Here's our 2 cups, and we're going to stick them together like that, and that'll be a tuck spot. But before we do that, we've got to create our cracks, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a squiggly line, goes all the way down, and then that one now. Obviously I can't tear that one because that will be tearing that piece out. Didn't think about that, did you, Claire? But let's see how we go. So well, I didn't really follow my pencil lines, but I have got it all torn. So then if I now take my brush, I can rub that pencil out, and I just get some brown ink in those cracks. When I glue that back together, I think that's going to work just fine. We'll see. Okay. So I think we got cracks. What say you? Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a piece of random, whatever this is, coffee dyed paper, and I'm just going to glue that top so that it lays back together. I'm going to put that down there and let that glue. It does mean that I need to, I didn't want to have to do that really fussy bit again, because that's what takes time. So if I get my scissors, and I cut round there, that piece comes off, so you haven't got to worry about doing that. And then we can do the easy fussy cutting. Round the cut. I need a bit more glue on that bit. Now, I don't think I'm going to bother to crack the other cup. You know, I mean, we've done cracked because that one's all cracked. I'm just going to get a rubber and take out these pencil lines. definitely looks cracked, does it not? There is actually a bit there. There we go. I accept that as cracked. What say you? So this one I'm going to have at the front, and this one we're going to have at the back, like that. So we need to glue that end. So I glue the handle. Also, of course, that will support the delicate handle that's on here. Just there, I think. Just try and make sure they're straight. You know what I'm like for getting stuff straight, or not, as the case may be. We're going to have to take a little tiny bit off of this. To make sure that's going to fit. Nobody will know, will they? So, just want to take this piece off here. Okay, there you go. So, we are going to we're going to glue this piece and this piece and then that piece. Now you're going to sit on there. Like that. We've got our tag. How wide is this? Oh look, so now I know that I can glue down there and down there, and that's going to give it a much better hold. Turn it over, press it down, and there is our cracked. I'm quite pleased with that. Bit of fun, isn't it? And I'm not going to decorate the tag now because I want to move on and do the wallpaper one, and I don't want to keep you here forever, but I will decorate that and I'll show it to you next time. So then for wallpaper, I've got, as I say, these pictures, but I've also got this triple tag. This comes from Which Craft Do You Do? It's bits and pieces set 8, and I thought, first of all, obviously they are much too long, but let's get it cut out and then we'll go from there. So where's my metal ruler? I had a tidy up on my desk at the weekend, and it's famous last words, isn't it? Because then you just can't find anything. Right, we'll assume that the print is straight. I'm going to shorten it by that much because we know they're too long. Just going to try. Yep, that now looks like a good size. So I thought what I'd do is I'd make a flip, but that the flip would be like a wallpaper sample booklet type thing. I will show you what I mean. So we've got rid of all of our bits and pieces. Now get our fold lines. Now you could obviously put this on a scoreboard I'm just going to do it with my finger now. Oh, there's a fly in here now. Goodness sake. Okay. So there are my folding ones. And what I thought was I would stick this down and we could have a tuck. I'll glue this one to this one and this will be our paper samples. Or actually, do we want to do it the other way around? Do we want our paper samples in here? Because then the staples will be stuck behind. Or are we going to even staple it? Are we just going to stick them down? Let's have a little think. But first of all, we need to get rid of these white bits so that it becomes much more tag-like. And although this is 120-gram paper, it is only really copier paper, so I think, you know, giving it the strength of sticking two together and sticking one to the page is a good idea. So this piece that I cut off that I thought was going to be too, you know, because it was too long, I'm going to snip down with my knife, because if we're going to make this a tuck, we really want this side to be stronger. And normally I would fold a bit over, but obviously it hasn't got any fold over area. So we're going to put that there. I'm going to bring this down. We are going to line it up so that it's right on the edge like that, and it just makes that a little bit stronger for sliding stuff in and out when it's glued down as a bit of a pocket. Okay, so that's our glue down pocket. Right, okay, let's have a look at these wallpapers. So I've got 4. Like, you know, somebody's collecting samples, they're not quite sure what they'd like to decorate their house in. If you're in the UK and you've been to somewhere like, you know, B&Q, and you've ripped yourself off a sample, it usually looks like this jaggedy edge, doesn't it? So well, it definitely does when I rip it off anyway. So okay, you see this will be our oh, don't get sticky. This will be our sample, our wallpaper sample booklet, or whatever it is you want to call it. So we've got different sizes of the different papers. That's how it always goes, isn't it? Actually, do you know what? I think I'm just going to glue them down. So that's going to be the first one, and it's going to go down first because it's the biggest one. And this one is going to maybe go over that side, because we almost feel definite that we want blue, but we're not sure if we want the blue and red or the blue and orange. There you go. And on this one, I'm going to tear this one. we're still not sure about the orange, and there's a lesser bit of blue in this one, so it's still a contender, as it were. And I'm going to put these two on the other side, and then we'll have to think about a label or something. For the front. Come on. There we go. So that one is going to come, say, over there. And then we'll have still got the blue, and now it's more of a sort of cream. Whoever's doing this decorating just can't make their mind up. Are you like that when you decorate? Does it take you ages to decide? There you go. And we're going to put them two on there. Now I'm going to get rid of this mat because it's driving me mad. It's super sticky. I'll bring this one up. Check the camera. Yep, you're still there. So we're going to put this one down first. To the bottom. I'm going to put this one to the top. We're going to glue this one to this one. That's obviously not quite lined up, so we're going to take off this little bit of edge, trying desperately not to cut the fold, which we seem to have managed. And then we need to take off that white bit, like so. Okay, so now we've got this nice booklet. Okay, I'm going to take another bit off here because you just know I'm going to cut the fold, don't you? I don't think I did. I think we got away with it. Let's have a look. Yeah, we got away with it. Right. So then on here, on this page, we're going to have this that opens out. I think we'll put it there, but we only want to glue the top and the bottom, so we've got a nice tuck spot. And in an ideal world, what we'd put there is maybe a paint strip, isn't it, for the paints that are going to go around, you know, in that pocket. They're going to go around the wallpapers. Now, I have got a faux painted paint strip somewhere. Is it by any chance just local? That would be too easy, wouldn't it? Oh, look. There you go. So, if we tear off, this is just, I took some watercolour paper, and I popped it into my laser printer rather than my inkjet one, and I photocopied some vintage invoices onto it. There you go. And Then I used it to do some painting on because it was watercolour. Right, now we need a label, don't we? Now, what kind of label do we need? We need something that sort of says wallpaper shop or something like that. Now, in my stamps, have I got a wallpaper shop? I don't believe so. We've got a tailor, an accountant, a candy shop, retail and wholesale. What does that one say? Wilson. Oh, tobacconist. No, we better not use that one for wallpaper, have we? Dyeing, cleaning, rugs and hats. Mullion is... oh, tax income. So that's not going to help us very much, is it? What about on my newer set? Have we got something appropriate on the newer set? Victor Tweeds, Adams. I tell you what, Adams Furniture Shop, that might do it, mightn't it? Because furniture shops, you know, they sell all sorts of things. So we could maybe get that on there. And we conveniently have this piece of paper here. So we're going to pull that off there. I'm going to use this blue, I think. Why the hell not? There's a bluey green under there. So this actually says Adams Furniture Polish, but do you know what? It'll do. It'll do. We're going to pop that down there. I mean, you need furniture polish, don't you, in your house? Oh, it's not. But you know what? Bearing in mind we didn't really want furniture polish, we'll give it one more go. And if not, we'll just go with what we've got. We'll turn it over. We'll do it again. Oh, it's a big ugly blue bottle. There you go, there's a better one. So, we are going to take our tear ruler, because it's all torn at the top and bottom, and give it a nice rough tear there. And there. And that's going to sit on there. So, we'll bring our book back. Get rid of that. That's the one that I want. So we're going to glue up here. And we're going to pop this on to our wallpaper booklet. Whoops. And we've got our wallpapers and our paints ready for when we do our decorating. I just feel like, 1 second, I just feel like maybe we need a little tiny snip out of there. That's better. So there's our wallpaper samples and our paint samples. There's our polish. And there is our crack. So we've got cracked and we've got wallpaper. So as always, a huge thank you for coming along and joining me. I hope you found some joy and inspiration. Stay safe. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ta for now.